Good morning, Raptor fans. Alexiot's here. Let's go. It's game day, baby. We're playing Detroit today, and it's 6 o'clock tip off, just so y'all know, 6 o'clock Eastern time. So be ready for a little bit early once again, 6 p.m. tip for the Vegas game today. Raptors versus Detroit Pistons. The Pistons are a team that have tanked in recent years. So they're definitely a team that has some real good talent as far as recent draft picks in recent years. Jaden Ivey is playing on this team, and he's been fantastic. In fact, in the last game they lost to the Rockets, which is a team that's very, very young and just like this also that has a lot of draft picks. So, and then they beat Orlando in their first summer league game so far, and they are another team stacked with young, really high draft picks that have been accumulated over the last few years. And they beat Orlando, but they did not beat Houston. And it's interesting because they played really well against Houston. It just didn't add up to winning because Houston was that much better. It really was a phenomenal performance by Jabari Smith Jr. that absolutely killed them. And he hit that buzzer beater to beat the Pistons. Or he there was a buzzer beater at some point. Maybe it wasn't in this game. Now, of course, Detroit is missing their big pick for this offseason. Thompson, he got hurt, right? Or did he? No, he got hurt. The Houston Thompson got hurt. So this Thompson is still playing, I believe. So they will have whatchamacallit, Azur Thompson will be playing in this game, I believe. So he's a number 5 pick in the draft this year. Also, guys to look for the Pistons today: Jalen Duren, absolutely fantastic in summer league so far, averaging a double-double. James Wiseman has been stepping up. The former Warrior has been more and more getting more valuable in Detroit because they're getting stuff out of him. He had a double-double in the last game against the Houston Rockets. And then Jaden Ivey getting a double-double in the last game also in assists, 22 points and 10 assists. So there is some real strong talent on this Detroit team. And if these Raptors don't come out with some sort of improvement or some sort of smartness or just fundamentally or get together, whatever, they are going to get their ass kicked. And I fully predict this today. I mean, I'm an optimistic Raptor fan. I'm usually very, very positive, but I have to be realistic. The talent on the Detroit team is overwhelmingly much better than our talent. So if these guys go above and beyond and they beat them today, I will be very happy because that'll show something, a fight in them, the ability to go above and beyond and beat a team that they have no business beating. So that's really how I look at it today. Not to mention that tomorrow they play again right away against the Brooklyn Nets. So it's a back-to-back, first night of back-to-back today, 6 o'clock, Detroit. Tons of high draft picks that are just absolutely tearing it up. Jaden Ivey by himself may be enough to beat us. But then you throw in James Wiseman, Jalen Duren, Osur Thompson. Yeah, it gets real, real difficult after that. Some other names that are on the Detroit Summer League team are Isaiah Livers, who we were familiar with from last year on the Detroit team that's pairing of Beef Stew and Livers. Well, Beef Stew got his extension. In fact, he's one of the first extensions off a rookie contract for the Detroit Pistons franchise in a long time, in like 15 years. None of their rookies have ever extended. Well, Isaiah Stewart did this week, and Isaiah Livers is on their summer league team, so we may see him in action today. The son of Boeheim, the great Syracuse coach, is on this team, Buddy Boeheim. Yeah, I don't know how much he'll play. He's been in the league for a little while. He's been in the league for 1 year. Who else is on there of note that I should maybe mention? The guy Jared Roden, he's a pretty good player. He's been playing pretty well for them also. Yeah, so they had interviews yesterday with our Raptors. They specifically interviewed DJ Hogue, and who was the other person they interviewed? It was Ron Harper Jr. Very interesting interviews. DJ Hogue basically said, it's really hard to play on these summer league teams like this because nobody knows each other and they all have very selfish motivations. He said it himself. He said it straight up. He said, well, there's no gelling because we all have egos and we're all trying to do what we want to do. That's what DJ Hogue said. And I appreciate his honesty. This is true. This is very much true. Now, a guy like Noel, who's a point guard, he can try and connect these guys, but overall, these guys are going to have a hard time kind of like clicking with each other, especially if they don't have any time accrued playing together. That's the other thing. Some of these young cores, like Detroit's and Houston's, has gotten time served on the court from last year and stuff like that. So that's a big part of the problem is that our Raptor summer league team has absolutely no gelling. I mean, there is a little bit. You could blame Ron Harper and David Johnson for not gelling more from 905 last year. Maybe you could blame that, but otherwise, none of these guys have ever played together at all. And Raptors Nations needs to remember this and just allow them to go through the motions and play what they're going to do. Ron Harper talking about in his interview that, yeah, they got to do better. And this is a tough time. And that, yeah, he's trying to bring his experience from 1 year in the NBA already to the other guys and teach them how to do this right. So this is a real tough thing. All right, let me check in on the comments. It looks like my guy Trevor came in first and dropped the big number on me. Holy crap, Trevor J. Holy crap. I am not worthy. Garth from Wayne's World. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. Trevor J with his words of wisdom. So fantastic and awesome. What he said in his thing is a bad day does not mean you have a bad life. Words of wisdom from Trevor J in the morning. I love it, Trevor. Love it. I love seeing you do this. It's so great. It's like, man, keep motivational speaking everywhere in your life, please. Canadian Dana's in here. Good morning, everyone. David Saborn saying, laugh out loud. Dana shows up at 7:30. I wonder you're the first. No wonder you're the first one in always. David, thank you for the super chat. Tonight will be a good game. Insert corny quote here. Well, it'll be fun to watch just because there's more Raptors basketball on TV. And I mean, we have lowered expectations on this. So it's just like, let's see. You know, if they beat the Pistons today, that's a huge accomplishment. And in some ways, I'll say, wow, what a successful summer league if we can beat the Pistons summer league team. I don't expect it. I really, really don't. In fact, I expect us to be just as bad as the other day. I don't think these guys are going to get it together in the week that they're at Las Vegas. There's just it's just not the right mix, and they don't have any connections to each other, really, is what the problem is. But thank you both, David and Trevor. Very generous and very, very kind. I appreciate it. Dana's saying, David, I'm up at 5:30 every day. This is now part of my morning routine after my weed and coffee. Dana's one of our people getting up and doing the wake and bake. Dana, we find out more about first Canadian Dana. Love it. Love it. That's awesome. I'm glad I'm on part of your routine. I'm honored, and it means a lot, Dana. It honestly does. Nameless is saying, Dana, I'm partaking in that right now myself. These trade packages for SIAKAM are a joke. What are they doing offering the Canadian prices for our players? Bro, U.S. currency only, please. Yeah, it's a mess. And it's like, once again, as I said yesterday, it's boy cried wolf. Y'all have been saying this for a while. I won't believe this until it actually happens. Y'all are trying to say that Atlanta is still going to try and make this deal, even though they tied up DeJounte. You know, there's nothing from Atlanta that we want. You know, Indiana may be able to deal with us. There's maybe more realistic talk between us and the Pacers right now. But Atlanta, come on, you're dead in the water. Just get over yourself. You're not getting SIAKAM. You don't have anything of value that we want. You really, really, really don't. Trae Young, I wouldn't even want him straight up for SIAKAM at this point. Trae Young is not as good as SIAKAM, and he's your best player. So where do we go from there? All right, go to DeJounte. Yeah, you can't trade him for 6 months because you just did an extension with him. So I don't want DeJounte anyway. Who is after that? DeAndre Hunter? Whoa, you better come with way more than that. So yeah, forget about it, Hawks. You're not getting SIAKAM. There's no way you're getting him unless you're doing some sort of crazy-ass 3-team deal, and we are getting something really good from the third team because we are not interested in any of your assets, Hawks. They're garbage. Garbage assets. Hit the Pacers. Now, we may talk to you just because you have a few very young, talented Canadians on your team that are attractive to us. So, man, it's crazy. The SIAKAM stuff's just not going to go away. I love SIAKAM posting some pic posts in social media yesterday. He's working out. He's using a very dark motif with everything around him. He says he's working in coal. is what he said in the caption. He says, I'm in the cold right now. And that means he's in the dark. He's working hard. He's in there mining more progress and development for himself. And it's a whole art thing too, because he was very much using shadows and the where he is to really show that he is in the grind, in the dark, and away from all the stupid ass trade rumors and bullshit going on right now. Trevor J saying also, good morning, Raptors family. A bad day does not mean you have a bad life. That's what I'm saying. Keep perspective. We can't all have winning days all the time. There's going to be a winner and a loser in contests. That's just how the NBA goes. And one of the things that this is one of the things I'll say about having such a horrible summer league right now. Sometimes the very best things in the world start with ultimate utter failure. And that, the beginning of this Darko era right now is starting with really bad games in summer league. Well, there's only one way to go, and it's up. And I want to be really bad right at first and show improvement and show that this guy knows what he's doing from bad places. So even though our summer league is bad right now, sometimes it's really good to really absolutely shit the bed right at the beginning. And you become better, and the success is much more bountiful. You need a little fertilizer, you need a little manure in there to help things grow. So maybe these little shitty times can actually help things be better and stronger later. Does that make any sense? We'll take the manure of summer league and we'll grow great flowers out of it in the regular season. How about that? Yeah, let's go. Trevor J. Holy crap. I'm not worthy. Holy crap. Not love is the answer to everything that is wrong. Isaac saying W at Trevor. Happy game day. Yeah. What is that? That's a little lemon head guy with the heart jumping out of his chest. We maybe need to get him down to Mount Sinai with his heart outside all of a sudden. Little lemon man, lemon heads, the lemon heads. All right, let's see. Tom Duke saying, let's grow. Nice one, Trevor. Yeah, we need to grow. We need to grow out of the manure of the stink of our summer league. Yes, let's go. Bradley's here. Good to see Canadian Cowboy. Good morning, Lex and the Raptor Freaks. It's game day. Let's go. Win or lose, just want to see someone step up. Come on, Gradey. Let's go, Raptors. Gradey Dick yesterday in an interview released with Bleacher Report with Taylor Rooks. I think that's her name. Yeah, very unserious interview for the most part. But Gradey divulged some very interesting things in this interview yesterday. Some of it is like when he was 7 years old, when his mom got cancer, it really strongly affected his persona and who he is and how he looks at life. That, that was a very serious scare for him at such a young age, that in some ways, Gradey takes life more seriously than other people because he almost lost his mom when he was just a kid. And that's very interesting thing about his character. He had basketball in his life right from where he was little. It's always been his life because his mom was professional. His brothers above him and his sister played, and he played with them. And he talked about how when he was younger, his older brothers never let him win, and how much that frustrated him and pissed him off. I'm sure that these summer league games are a little bit reminiscent of young Gradey trying to beat the older Dick brothers in the driveway in Kansas. That's what I'm saying. Is like I see a frustration in Gradey that may be like just like that little kid that had to go through that with his brothers never letting him beat them. He seriously said that. He said, I get so motivated and angry because my brothers never used to let me beat them when I was little and we played basketball. So that's part of what makes him tick. Like hearing more about Gradey and his background and how he looks at things. Lots of interesting stuff said by him. He's talking about being in Toronto by himself without his parents. He's like, yeah, I want them to kind of stay in Kansas. They'll come meet up with me in different places. I have a big enough place that when they come to Toronto, they can stay with me and be in my house with me. But I want them to live in Kansas. And I want to live in Toronto as a young man going out on my life as an adult. And so mom and dad ain't going to be around 24/7 to watch him. He's going to have to live his own life and make his own decisions. Well, to me, he seems like he's very, very smart because of his Christian faith and different things like that. He will stay away from the devil and whatever is around him that may entice him to get into bad things as a young man on his own, away from his parents for the first time in his life. It really is kind of like, because he went to Kansas and he was around his parents pretty closely in proximity, that he didn't really go off to college. And now he's gone the Raptors in a whole different country. And and he is definitely, now it's more like he's off to college. So this is a very interesting aspect of Gradey, divulging that his folks will not be staying with him 24/7 and traveling with him as his entourage. He wants to grow up and be on his own as his own man. I like that, Gradey. Now, he is definitely somebody I want to see step up today, Bradley. If we could see Gradey Dick get over 20 points today, that would be really good. You know, Iceman LeGervin is perfectly right to point out the differences between guys that got drafted after him and what's happening right now. So, Gradey, we need some ammunition for the pro Gradey side of things. So go out there and give it to us, please. However you can do it. I wish you and Noel would get your chemistry going and he could just set you up and get you lots of shots. There has not been very good organization with our summer league roster at all in the first two games. Let's see if we can improve after 5 days or a week of being together. Y'all could be better today. We'll have to see. 6 p.m. Detroit Pistons. Let's go. Mike is here. Good to see Logical Raptors fanatic. Salute the real ones. Project Truth always. Thank you, Mike, for being here. One of the most important Raptors YouTube channels, if you ask me, as far as they will tell you the truth and the facts. Mike will, and he'll break it down to you. Right now, he's going over the CBA. And thank you, Mike, for your series on the CBA right now on your channel. Give Logical Raptors fanatic a subscribe, y'all. Masai will do what he needs to make this team win, nothing less, but what he sees as the solution. I don't know if people know exactly. The rumors are too much, in my opinion. Well, this is what Bobby said before, and this is what we should believe now. The rumors aren't coming from us. I have no faith or thinking that we actually want to move SIAKAM right now. I think it really is that the Atlanta Hawks are really hard up for him right now, extremely hard up for him. And they are manufacturing a lot of this noise themselves. It's the other teams. It's Indiana, it's Portland, it's Atlanta. It's these teams trying to stir the shit up and see what happens. But I don't think we're actually that interested in moving SIAKAM. There's a lot of signs pointing to that we're done in a lot of ways. You know, some people want to go continue. Some idiots out there, some people that are pushing to absolutely destroy our team to the bottom of the ground. They want to get rid of SIAKAM still. And that's really their main motivation in this. They just want him off our team. They don't really care about getting anything good for our team. They just want him gone. And they use the guise of, oh, we want Scotty to have everything opened up for him, or we want a Scotty and OG era. Fuck y'all with that bullshit. No. No, we do not want that right now. We have SIAKAM, one of the great scorers in the league right now. Y'all do not respect this man or understand how valuable he is. Y'all really, really need to check yourself. And once again, like a lot of people are saying, this is a dude who's been a Raptor his whole career, and he wants to stay a Raptor, and he wants to max out as a Raptor, and he's a top 20 player in this league. Y'all, we need to listen to him and keep him around. I don't give a shit if Scottyites think he's in the wave for Scotty to be the best Scotty he can be. Y'all are foolish. First of all, a lot of the Scotty fans are idiots. They do not understand what it takes to win in basketball. And you know what? Scotty will not carry us to a championship by himself for like 5 years. So how about this? What if we keep SIAKAM with him and maybe we cut that time down to 3 years? And it's easier for Scott to get his first championship with SIAKAM around. So I don't get this. Why are people so hard up? It's like the other teams like Indiana and Atlanta are so hard up to get him out. And then certain fans in our fan nation are so hard up to get him out. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Put some respect on SIAKAM's name and respect how important he is to our team, and stop talking so frivolously about discarding him aside and moving forward in the new era of the Raptors. That is bullshit. We've already lost Fred, and that is a huge change in itself. And now you want to go and get SIAKAM too? I really do believe there are forces out there trying to take the word champion away from the team named the Raptors. That you go and get SIAKAM off our team, and he's the last really main active champion that was on our 2019 team. And that's exactly why. Is because people want to fucking take the name associated with the Raptors champion away by taking everybody who got that on the team off of it. Chris Boucher's another example. OG's another example. They talk constantly about let's trade Chris. Let's trade Chris. Why do you want to trade Chris so bad? Why do you want to trade Boucher so bad? He doesn't want to leave. He loves Toronto. He's on a discount with us. He's Canadian. He loves the city. Why do you want to trade him so bad? That's what I'm wondering about these people that go after Siakam, Anunoby, and Boucher. Those are the three guys with Toronto championship rings. What is this? What is this? Y'all are weird. You're probably not really fans. You're fans from other team nations and coming in to do this. I really do believe this. All right, let's see. Infamous is saying, Sloop Freaks, it would be an absolute mistake for our team to get rid of Pascal, especially if it's over money. We don't want to have that kind of rep as a franchise. Yeah, that's another side of it. He wants to stay loyal. He wants to stay with us. He is a high-level player. This is the first time this would ever happen with our team. We need to go ahead and do it. MLSE, Larry Tannenbaum, Masai Ujiri, just get the extension done and get everybody to shut the fuck up. You know, in some ways, getting the extension done will shut a lot of people up on this. And I am all about that happening if it can as soon as possible. Kareem Thomas is here. Good to see great Raptor freak Kareem Thomas. Dunk leader in our league. Seymour and him are up at the top there. Good morning, guys. Amazon just dropped off my EchoVax robot vacuum and mop. What? And happy to say that I have officially hired a maid. Did you name it Rosie? I'm betting you named it Rosie. Are you calling it Rosie, Kareem? I'm going to bet you are. This guy's living the Jetsons life. They were saying the Jetsons happened around this time. And when they originally did the cartoon, they said it was like 2020s. Jetsons life. So we should have been living like this already. Kareem is there, living the Jetsons life, because he was told as a kid that that would be the future. And well, he has made the future come true, just like he thought it would when he watched the Jetsons as a child. This is so awesome, Kareem. Your EchoVax, a robot vacuum and mop. That sounds cool. And I'll bet you did call it Rosie. Yeah, I'm a fun guy saying it's looking like they're going to absolutely destroy us, laughing my ass off. Well, that's the great thing. Fun guy. If it seems like the Pistons are just going to kick the shit out of us, if there's any other kind of outcome, well, we'll be really happy. Because if they kick the shit out of us, well, we expected that. But if it's close and we still lose, I may have a moral victory in that. If we win slightly or we absolutely beat them, those are great outcomes. So you lowered expectations, lowered hurt feelings when things don't really go well. And I mean, you know what I do on this channel when I do previews, I really do look at the teams and size them up and really give you a handicap on what I think will happen in this game. And I am absolutely predicting the Detroit Pistons will blow us out by 20 at least. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Logical saying, hang on, it jumped ahead, of course. All right, hang on. The Pistons tanked for years, and Stewart was the first re-sign in time. Yeah, tanking isn't all it's made to be when these picks never develop from losing too much. Yeah, or they get disenchanted with the place because it's not getting any better, and they leave. They just leave. You know, it's not like anybody wanted to hang around in Detroit. They just take off. When the time, the opportunity is there, they can get out, they get out. And it's not like they retain any of this young talent. That's why people need to understand this whole idea that you have to be really, really good or really, really bad. And if you're in the middle, you're an idiot, is so stupid. It is so dumb. Because you can be really, really bad and just stay really, really bad for a long, long, long time. That's the risk of doing that. You want to tank your team and put yourself down low to get lottery picks. Well, it doesn't mean you're going to get better at any point. It really doesn't give you any guarantee of that. So in some ways, the best way to get better is to just show you're getting better. Or there are levels that you can jump up and you can get better like at different heights. It's a whole fallacy. The whole idea of being a mid team is the worst place to be in the league. It was like in vogue or cool that people say that. That may have been true like in 2010. That may have been true in like 2005. You don't want to be in the middle of the pack because you're not going to be any closer to winning and you're just going to be stuck in some sort of purgatory. Nah, that ain't true anymore. And that's what NBA casual fans or old school, like dumb fans that still believe that mid is the worst place to be is wrong. Is very much wrong. You want to be in those stair steps in a better place because you can make leaps from being mid into being a better team. You can do that. That whole idea that you have to be so bad that you get a savior high draft pick and then you make a huge leap up into the top echelon, that's fallacy. That shit doesn't happen. That shit maybe happens once or twice every 15 years to one team. So you think that this is just like candy handed out every which way? You get a good young player in the draft lottery, all of a sudden you're a top 5 team. All of a sudden, no, that's not how it works. The way you get better is incrementally up from the middle. And everybody wants to burn everything down to get better around Scotty. You're idiots because he needs good people around him. In fact, your plan will drive Scotty out of city because he'll see that the team has been destroyed while he's been there. He'll remember how good it was when he showed up and he'll be like, yeah, we're getting worse and I don't want to be here anymore. So you want that, you dumb idiot Scotty fans? You want him to leave because you made the team destroyed around him? Because that's exactly what you'll do. Seriously. He wants to know he has a winning, capable team around him. So we need to continue to have good, winning, capable players around him like SIAKAM. So remember this and understand that some of what y'all Scottyites want is not anything what he really wants in his ideas in his head. That y'all want them to get rid of SIAKAM. He probably does not want that. Y'all think he wants that, but that is not what he wants. He wants SIAKAM there to help him. And the team is better with him playing with SIAKAM. So I just want to do a reality check real quick right there. Real quick. Nameless is saying, Trevor J, that's got to be, 5 dunks? It just has to be. All right, you're calling for it, Nameless? All right, yeah, we're going to give Trevor J, you can buy dunks, I guess. Yeah, of course. We'll give him 5 dunks. Nameless has said that. He's nominating him for 5 dunks. Trevor, you now have 9 dunks in the Raptor Freak League. Trevor with 9 dunks now. That's right. Yeah, you bought him. But you know what? I love his words of wisdom. Seriously, that's been one of my favorite segments recently. Really cool to see Trevor come in with some words of wisdom. All right. The super fan Monique Lawrence is here, the greatest. We love super fan Monique. Can we get on the winning side, please? Good morning. I don't know if today's the day. I really don't think it's going to be today, Monique. But let's see if this team has mettle and they can come back on a second night of back-to-back and beat the Brooklyn Nets. That may be very plausible that we can beat the Nets Summer League team, but beating the Pistons Summer League team, this is one of the best Summer League teams at Vegas right now. And this will be very tall order, but if they can do it, I'll be very proud of them. Very, very proud of them, Monique. Roulez is saying, why won't SIAKAM sign any extension if he wants to stay here? I don't know if they've officially offered it to him yet. I also not even sure if like if they're allowed to do it right this second. There may be a date that has to pass before they actually can offer it to him. So I think this is all premature and it's a little early. It could very well be that the people that really want SIAKAM in other places realize that once that's done, it's going to make it even harder to move him. So they're whining and crying louder with rumors now to try and get it done before the Raptors get to the deadline when they can do the extension and they get it done. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure SIAKAM, he wants to do it and he will do it as soon as he can. But if he doesn't, yeah, maybe there are signs that are a little weird that don't really go along with what he's saying. It's like they say, actions speak louder than words. Well, you're saying one thing. Let's see what you do. And I want to just see it happen because it'll shut a lot of stupid shit up. Seriously. Mike's saying wake and bake for the win. There you go. I did not. I have not taken any cannabis yet today. I will very shortly after this. Let's see. Cowboys saying, let's grow, Trevor. Have a good feeling about this game. Well, there you go. Cowboys got a good feeling about today's game. Well, we'll see. Low expectations mean, good things can happen. If you don't have anything to lose, you're loose. There's not as much pressure on the Raptors right now because we already think they suck. So Kareem's saying maybe we might get a Pascal sighting in Vegas. Everybody's making a big deal out of SIAKAM not being seen in Vegas so far this week. And I think it's bullshit. It kind of pisses me off, honestly. Are you going down every single NBA player in the league and checking whether they've been showing up at Summer League, Michael Grange, you idiot? Because there's a lot of top tier NBA players that are not at Summer League. I could say name like Nikola Jokic. I don't think I've seen Jimmy Butler there. I don't think I've seen LeBron at Summer League. Are you really going to just say, oh, because Siakam isn't there, it means something? No, this is so stupid. It's not mandatory to go to Summer League. It really isn't an indication of a guy's commitment to a team. That's totally reading into bullshit too. So any of this narrative, and Grange's stupid piece this week is so full of shit. And fuck you, Michael Grange, for your continued fucking bullshit with how you report on the Raptors and make up bullshit and just cause all kinds of stupid shit. So yeah, I'm not reading into Pascal's absence at Summer League in any more than, you know what? He's got his own life. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. I mean, seriously, it's not that he's not connected with these guys. It's not that he's not committed to the Raptors. It's just that he has other places to be away from all the noise. In fact, we know Siakam very much values solitude and being out in the middle of nowhere on an island with beautiful, clean, beautiful sandy beaches and just bright green, sparkling water. And it seems like there's nobody out there, that he may be the only person out there, hardly anybody else at all. And why would he want to go to the most crazy ass Las Vegas with so many fucking people there, seeing everybody and like so much going on? It's tiring. Victor escaped already. He said, I'm done with this shit. I want to go hide for a while now before I have to come back and do more things. That's kind of what it is. It's like Siakam has to be a part of this all year round for the most part. Well, the bits of time where he can be alone and be away from the game and the noise, well, he may very much value that. And Vegas is not quiet. If you want to go where there's something going on and you want to be mixing it up and seeing other NBA players and seeing everybody, well, go to Vegas. But if you don't want to do that, you want to kind of have time to yourself. He was just memorializing his father again recently, as a date just passed. I believe it was his birthday. He has personal things in his own life to take care of. Why would you criticize him for not being at Summer League? I'm actually really surprised and shocked how many of the Raptors come to Summer League. The last 2 years, we've had almost like 80% of our team there. And I'm very happy about that. But when some of them don't show up, I'm not making a big deal out of it. There were certain Raptors that did not show up last summer, like OG. I don't think OG went to Summer League last year. We barely saw OG around there. Well, he's there this year. We know he's there this year, but Siakam's not there this year. Is it a big deal that OG wasn't there last year, but Siakam was there last year? That's what I'm saying. You can think about this all you want, Grange, but it doesn't mean any more than he's on his own time. He's on vacation. He's not under, orders by the Raptors, come to Summer League and be here. Oh my gosh, it's so ridiculous. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. Maybe we will see him in the next couple of days. We could see him today for all we know. He might be sitting at the front row of the game today. And then eat that, Michael Grange, with your fucking stupid ass hit piece bullshit. Fucking writing your dumb ass shit. Yeah, there you go, Michael Grange. And then Will Lou putting it all over the Raptors show. You fucking idiots. Y'all are not helpful to this team. Y'all want to see us win more Larry O'Briens down the road? Well, fucking quit covering them like you do. You fucking negative jabronis. You fucks. Oh my gosh. All right, let's see. Fun guy saying, wow, a nice hunted. And yeah, wake and bake, baby, on my way to Brampton with a joint right now, too. Wow. All right. He's going to see the Brampton Utes. Not the waist Utes, though, just the Utes. I like that. Infamous is saying some positive news, not basketball related. Safest Canadian cities. Barrie topped the list, followed by Brantford, Guelph, and then Toronto. We're number 5 safest city in Canada. I love hearing this, especially with all the really bad news lately. I want to talk about this subject just for a second, since Infamous brought this up. I want y'all to know that crime has always been kind of bad. There's always kind of criminal things happening in life. That's just how it goes. It's just that in some ways, we didn't hear about it all because we weren't so connected. We didn't have like 24/7 news way, way back. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have people like putting it down our throats. There's been some unfortunate incidents in the last week here in Toronto. A man was stabbed on a subway in front of everyone, and it was really scary and fucked up. We saw a woman just around the corner from my house get shot in broad daylight by guys fighting in the street at Queen and Carlaw, and she was innocently shot on the sidewalk. These are both very sad incidents that are really messed up. But when you look at the capital, the people, how many people are here, the population, and the incidence of these kind of things is very small percentage. But when these incidents happen, they're sensationalized and put out like major things. And with the recent mayor election here in Toronto of Olivia Chow, there's a strong force that's trying to make it seem like our city isn't safe. Well, I like hearing this because this is actually more closer to the truth. Our city is quite safe. And in some ways, they want us to be scared so they can justify inflating police budgets. They want people to think that they're not safe in Toronto so that we'll be clamoring to give money to the police department. Well, that's bullshit. In fact, the police are not there to prevent crime. They will never, ever prevent crime. They only show up after everything happens. So paying more money to the police will not fix these problems. What will fix these problems is investing in our community and investing in people, making sure people get a fair wage, making sure people have a living situation. And then a lot of these problems will go away. So funding the police does not actually help crime go down. The things that cause crime are economic reasons, mental health reasons, and sometimes you just need somebody to come help these people that aren't even police. A social worker or somebody just come in and say, we care about you and we were going to put you in a room somewhere for you to stay with a roof over your head. Half the time, this kind of shit is way more effective than giving more weapons or equipment or hiring more police officers. So this is one thing I want everybody to be educated on. When they say crime is out of control, well, that's because they want you to say, yeah, I want more police budget. Well, that's not the way to go. We need more social programs. We need a higher living wage, maybe even a universal basic income. And a lot of these issues will go away. Better investment in mental health services and CAMH will help this way more than investing in police officers. So just so you know, just a little public service message. And thank goodness, Toronto's the number 5 safest city in Canada. I'll take it. And I believe it's true. And a lot of other people will try and tell you it's otherwise. The TTC is so out of control. I'll never ride it. Well, just be aware of yourself. There's crazies everywhere. And, if you know there's a crazy person near you on the TTC, just get in another car of it or move along or just try and get some distance. There, unfortunately, is mental health issues in Toronto with people on the street, and we need to get them help. But a police officer is not the person to help them. Trust me, not the person to help them. Monique is saying, let's go, Dennis. Love the video so far. All right, Monique's bringing up the latest drop by Dennis Schroder on his YouTube channel. Y'all give him a subscribe and a follow. Another great Raptors channel. His dude is awesome. I love Dennis so much. I think he's such a cool guy. And I like the really mundaneness of his YouTube channel. They're filming him just eating wings in the airport. And he's just kind of talking. And he's like hanging out. I love that kind of shit. In some ways, he's a very cool guy. You see him taking pictures with fans in Germany in the airport. You see him with his buddy palling around and how they shoot it, where he's like walking around the airport and stuff. He made a very mundane, boring activity of flying from Germany to Las Vegas to be exciting and interesting and kind of like, wow, I want to watch this. I want to see what this guy's doing. Now, there are a couple of things in that video that I really love. He shows up to the hotel and guess who's right there? Right outside, like a doorman or a valet to park the car. Darko, Coach Darko, standing outside the Wynn Resort and Casino to welcome Dennis as soon as he pulls up from the airport. And he's walking with him. You can tell Darko's already getting that investment with him. Well, we know Dennis has had some time with Darko before in Oklahoma City. In fact, he said it in the clip. He's like, I know a couple of our coaches already because I know them from the Thunder. So, and then we get the very enjoyable, amazing moment of him talking to OG. Yeah, anybody who thinks that Dennis Schroder and OG don't like each other, you're crazy. In fact, it's exactly how I thought. They recognize the competitor in each other and, the defensive tenacity in each other. And they have a lot of respect for each other. And their moment was captured where Dennis is like pointing at the guy. He said, this is the guy who dragged me. This is the guy who dragged me, and they're smiling and laughing about it. Yeah, there was never going to ever be any kind of feud on the team between Dennis and OG. That's ridiculous. In the heat of the NBA game, things happen and it's nothing personal. And these guys knew that when that happened. In fact, they probably had no problem with each other later that night. Dennis Schroeder's not that kind of guy. He really isn't that kind of guy. You watch his YouTube channel, you'll find out he is a very laid back, easygoing dude. And I like this guy so much. It was pretty cool. And he was in there working out. They're showing him working out in the ballroom gym. Yeah. Ugh. He even said it on his video. This reminds me of the bubble. And it's like, he's like, this gym setup reminds me of the bubble. I'm like, fuck. Yeah, so definitely give Dennis a follow. His YouTube content's fantastic. If you don't speak German, put those closed captioning on. Then you'll see he's just like, he's really cool. And his friend's kind of dorky too. And they have a weird way of doing the channel, but I like it. And like Monique was saying yesterday, he turns around episodes like Open Gym like really quick. Like this just happened like in the last 2 or 3 days, and he's got it edited it up real fast. There may be some YouTube editing skills you could learn from Dennis Schroeder, Scotty Barnes, and Max, because he's very timely with getting his stuff out. Very, very, very timely. So you may need to talk to Joel and Dennis, Scotty, and about how they do their YouTube channel. Yeah. Tom Duke is saying NBA approves 2 new rule changes to combat flopping and reward successful challenges. Finally. All right, Tom Duke. Thanks for the good news. That's right. The Joel Embiid rule is official. They will use it in the regular season. They did it as a trial in Summer League, and they like it. They like it enough that they have just said, hey, it's going to be in the rules next year. An anti-flopping rule and the coach's second challenge are both officially rules that will be instituted in the season. The experiments in Summer League were successful, and they will be part of the game starting this season. So good stuff on that. I love it. I love it. Yeah, some people are criticizing this move. De'Aaron Fox, of all people, of the Sacramento Kings on Twitter, saying, well, what? This is too much power for the refs in some ways. Like he's annoyed by it because he really does feel like, all right, this is his argument about it is that, you get pushed by people all the time and you have to over embellish because the refs will not see the actual push if they just absorb it. So he's kind of saying that that's not fair because there's fouls happening all the time that y'all don't see. And if we don't over exaggerate it, you won't call it. So, well, maybe you don't fall on the ground, or maybe you don't do it in a way like maybe there's a happy medium, De'Aaron Fox, where you can do it where the ref will catch it and it won't look so egregious that they'll call a flop call on you like they're having the new rule. I don't know. This will be interesting to see the gray areas of this because De'Aaron Fox is right to a degree that their guys are going to be overacting still. And what is technically a flop? Do you have to actually fall on the ground? Or do you go, whoa, 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 and really like with crazy theatrics? Is that kind of flopping when you're like, whoa, over embellishing, getting contact? I don't know. We'll have to see how they call it, and we'll see if they're consistent with how they call it. They could very well be they pick and choose different ways they call the flop. And if they're not consistent in it with certain players or certain teams, we may have to call them out on it for new ref manipulation. So we'll have to see how consistent they are with it. Let's see. Iceman LeGervin's here. Let's see. The minutes police are in the house. Whoop, 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 whoop. Keep your minutes down. Raptors need to keep Pascal barring an insane Minnesota Gobert trade offer. No need to be an NBA minor league farm system. Keep the Raps' best players that want to be here and build upon that, not tear it down. Yeah, I totally agree with this. Everybody wants us to be as horrible as possible right now. You're not Raptor fans. You seriously aren't because of what I said earlier. You want to do it for Scotty? Well, that's not doing anything for Scotty other than sending him out of the city. Y'all are so stupid. You don't understand how basketball works. You get rid of all your good players around Scotty. Well, why the fuck does he want to stay here then? Then he will leave. So y'all are idiots. Everybody wants to tear this team down completely for Scotty. Your means of ways of doing it will get us ultimately Scotty out the door. You dumbasses. So yeah, we're not tearing it down. Fuck that. We'll just change the minutes police to the tank and tear it down police. Nah, y'all, you get a citation talking that tank and shit you're talking about right now. You don't value SIAKAM? Oh, there's a ticket. I'm writing you a ticket right now. It's the tanking police instead of the minutes police right now. Let's get on these asses. Fucking write up some tickets for these idiots, Iceman like Gervin. Yeah. Yeah, logical saying. I think Siakam doesn't want that weird game of look who's he's sitting with, and why that's the case. Noise to add to things. It's better for him to focus on his game this summer and not the BS out there. I think he just really loves the solitude. In some ways, he has to show everybody he's working, because he doesn't want anybody to think he was loafing like he did during the pandemic. And he just wants to be like in his zone, no distractions. And going to summer league may be, kind of in the middle of what he wants to do personally with his working out and stuff like that. So Monique is saying again, love the new NBA rules. They're listening. They're listening to people. Nick Nurse said a couple times last year, I'd love if I win the challenge, if I could get a second challenge. Well, they were listening, and they've done this. They figured out that the time wasn't too much more to add the ability to have a second challenge if you win your first challenge. And it seems like it's a right thing to do. If you win your first challenge, you get an opportunity to challenge again, and that's fantastic. It's good. It's a good rule too. I like that one too. Tom Duke saying in-game penalty for flops resulting in a technical free throw. A second coach's challenge awarded. I first challenge is successful. Yeah, you like the rules too, Tom. I like that. Mike is saying those changes are great. There you go. It's overwhelmingly everybody likes this. It's like the NBA is listening and they're doing popular things these days. Leslie's here. Good morning, Leslie Hart. Good morning, Raptor Freak family. I'm struggling to come up with names to trade Pascal for. Why is the media trying to make this a conversation? Pascal is the hardest working person in the NBA, and he very much wants to be a Raptor. Once again, it's very much Atlanta and Indiana lusting, thirsting for our milkshake that brings all the boys to the yard. This is something that has very much been happening with Raptor players the last few years, and some of it causes confusion. This is why I really want Bobby and Masai to be very communicative with these guys and let them know exactly where they stand, and say, like, look, we're not trying to move you. We don't want to trade you. You are part of what we want to do with the future. But if they do come at us with something really huge, there is a slight possibility we might trade you. But otherwise, it's not likely. And don't worry about it, Siakam. It's just bullshit. I hope they're having conversations like this with him, because honestly, the onus is not on us. We don't care. We want to keep Siakam. We don't need to move him. It's other people that are trying to pry him away from us that make up all this noise. And they may have intensified it because they really see the job is almost done. That they see that Nick and Fred are gone, and they're like, well, we can almost erase the championship 2019 Toronto Raptors. Siakam's the last person. So maybe those forces are intensifying. The anti-Canadian forces in the NBA that hate that the Raptors won a championship, well, let's get every single one of their champions off their team, so that we don't even have to maybe step in it by saying, oh, Fred VanVleet, former NBA champion or NBA champion for the Raptors. Yeah, he's on the Rockets now. They're going to say that all the blue in the face. They're going to say Fred VanVleet, NBA champion, but they'll leave out the Toronto part. Watch down south. It really is that kind of thing where they want to change history, and erasing and eradicating the memory of our championship team quickly by not having any of the players on our team is one of the ways of doing it. Does that make any sense? So we have honor in our legacy and our history of winning a championship in 2019. We should honor Siakam and keep him as long as possible. I thought that about Fred already, but that didn't happen. And it wasn't anything we could do. But now we damn for sure need to really, really honor and really protect and want Siakam on our team. Really, really so. Fiercely saying, good morning, fam, and happy Wednesday. Regardless of the game's outcome, I'm rooting for Gradey, Marquise, and Moses. Yeah, good morning, Fiercely. Good to see you. I'm kind of in the way, too. It's like in some ways I've kind of given up on certain guys already. David Johnson was the guy who got interviewed yesterday also. And his interview was kind of, I'm like, dude, man, you sucked. And like, you really got to get going. I don't know. He's really not impressing me in some ways. But there's certain guys I want to see. Noel have a really good game. I want to see Gradey have a good game. I want to see McGee have a good game. Moses, sure. But, the other guys, I don't give a shit. Like, honestly, some of them, I don't even care if they play. I think that Detroit might do this. Honestly, they may sit some of their best dudes today because they've already seen Jaden Ivey. They've already seen James Wiseman. They may not need to see these guys any longer, and we may be seeing their absolute like the other end of their bench, their like end of the bench that they haven't played yet. There's a bunch of guys that they have on their summer league roster that haven't really gotten burned yet. So it could be very well that we're seeing the B team of their summer league team, and that like Thompson doesn't even play. We don't see Azur Thompson. We don't see Dalen. We don't see Jaden. That could happen today. They're like, well, the Raptors are absolute garbage. We could really get away with playing the end of the bench guys from our summer league today. So we'll see if that happens. That could give us a chance to win if they don't play some of their top stars because they feel like they don't have to, or they want to look at other guys instead. So we'll have to see. Smooth saying, for all those people that want Pascal gone in a rebuild, be careful what you wish for. Trading an all NBA player who wants to stay. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Some of the reporters are saying this. So a lot of the fans are saying this. Respect Siakam. Respect his wishes. Respect his legacy with his team. Respect his body of work. Respect his place in our franchise. Respect what he means to his franchise. And do not talk like you want to just discard him like trash out on the street. No, this dude is important to our team history, and we need to hold on to him. I'm totally with Smooth on this. Cowboy saying it's better to be a warrior in the garden than a gardener in a war. Let's grow. That's an interesting saying for today. I mean, I guess we just want our team to grow and get better for sure. Yeah, a gardener in a war, I guess they would fight like with a pitchfork or like a hoe. I mean, battering people in the face with a hoe. I don't know. A gardener, a warrior. Let's just all be gardeners. Less warriors in the world would be good. And just like peace, love, and growing things instead of like going to war. Isaac saying, how do you use challenges now? I still say don't use the challenge till the last few minutes. Refs review challenges in playoffs and we're weird about it. Don't fall for it. Laugh out loud. Yeah, sometimes they penalize the team for calling the challenge. It's like very much you call a challenge and then you actually have bad calls go against you even further. Yeah, that was an interesting phenomena, Isaac. You just reminded me this is something I need to do on the Sunday report. I'm supposed to do a Sunday report this summer on the coaches' challenges and when's effective to use it and how to use it and stuff like that. So we're definitely going to do that on a Sunday. We'll talk more about the NBA coaches' challenges and the change with the new rule and maybe strategies of best effectively using it and what kind of calls are the best kind of calls to use it on the court. Because some calls are like kind of dumb. Like, okay, you just challenged that out of bounds call. Okay, you got the ball. Or, you do a challenge and you don't get anything fruitful from it. It's like, okay, yeah, you got that, but they're still shooting free throws or something like that. It's really weird. Like, there's got to be certain situations to call the challenge that benefits you in like the better percentage and smarter to use a challenge for that. And also the timing of the challenge is really important. Like you don't want to waste it really early. We saw Nick at times last year use the challenge early to kind of like change the tone of how the referees were starting to call the game early. Like if they're calling it real touchy and giving us a lot of fouls and not a lot of fouls on the other team, he may use the challenge in the first quarter to try and like change that like from happening throughout the game. But then he doesn't have a challenge for the whole rest of the game. So this is kind of an interesting Sunday report we'll have coming up in the next month or so. I'll do it on a Sunday, the coaches challenge. We'll do an in-depth kind of like expose or look at when is the most effective time to use it. Coaches challenge strategies. Yeah, I like that subject. And it's something that I've been really thinking deeply on in different ways. As far as when do you want to call it on what kind of calls, what kind of plays? Monique is saying that Bobby quote from 2021 is so right at this point. Right on, Lex. Yeah. It's really good that quote has been resurfaced. Thank you, Monique, for posting it because it's very apropos now. And I think it's kind of funny that this is like 3 years later and it still fits. It fits exactly right. So it just shows just how dumb all the noise around Siakam has been the last few years because, well, has he moved? Has he been traded all these damn times that they said these trade rumors are so out of control? In fact, right now, I feel less like worried about Siakam getting traded than any of those other times. I may have been a little bit more worried 2 years ago, but right now, for some reason, I'm not worried about it. And I think it is such a bunch of hot air and bullshit right now. Ruliz is saying Siakam wants to stay mostly because we can pay him the most and he's a second or third option on any other team wishing to contend. Sometimes the truth is ugly, guys. Sometimes that pessimism, and this is kind of bullshit, Rule is. No, this guy is not who you think he is. You think it's just because of the money? No, that's not exactly why it is. He's comfortable in Toronto. He has a house here with his mom, and he really does feel more comfortable here. It's a pain in the ass to move. In some ways, maybe he's lazy and that he doesn't want to upend his whole life and go somewhere else. You know, in the pictures I've seen of Fred VanVleet since he went to Houston in the last week, there's a lot of unsurety in his family pictures. You know, you see little Fred VanVleet Jr. and Sana, and you know they had to go and move and have whole new friends, whole new school, whole new all kinds of different things. And you can tell that's kind of a little turbulent for the VanVleet family. Packing up your whole family and moving all of a sudden like that. You know, it's exciting in some ways, but it's also kind of sucks because who knows how many friends Sana and Fred Jr. had here in Toronto. You know, that's part of it. Not that Siakam has family, like he doesn't have kids or anything, but in a lot of ways, I don't like your cynical take here. And I'm going to give you a strike. So be careful. You're not coming in here to give us ugly truth, motherfucker. I'm going to tell you that right now. You're only here on good graces because somebody said that they wanted you to let back in. So one person, like I don't remember who it was, said you should let him back in. He wants a chance because you messaged someone. So be careful. Seriously, your role on this channel is not to give us ugly truth because that's not the truth. That's your perception. And it's kind of bullshit, honestly. So I will give you one strike. If you get two more, you're going to get kicked out again, just so you know. He's not the second or third option on another team. He's at least the second for sure, if not the first. If he went to Orlando, he's the first option. I don't care if they have Paulo and all those other guys. He's older and he has way more experience, and he's actually got to be the first option in some ways. So, yeah, that's bullshit too. So, yeah, not the good starting off point here, Brulez. Thinking that Siakam's only worried about the money and then saying that he's not good enough to be the first option. Yeah, fuck off. Seriously. I'll let you back in because somebody asked me to do that. I didn't let you back in because I'm just letting everybody back in. Somebody asked me as a favor to let you back in. So, yeah, you might be right back out. G saying, without Fred and Pascal, Scotty averages 9 points per game. This thinking that he gets more touches will suddenly get his points up. The defense also will focus on him instead of Pascal. Scotty came in defense and pass first. He needs time to develop his offensive bag. Same trajectory as Kawhi and Giannis. Yeah, Scotty needs these guys around. Scotty was sad when Fred left. Everybody who thought that Scotty is overjoyed that Fred's gone, you're fucking idiots. He was emotional about it at Summer League when they interviewed him. They brought up Fred. He was emotional. He gave that tell that he's like sad and sentimental about him leaving because he knows he's good to have on his team and he liked playing with him. So there's really a lot of bullshit narratives about Fred and Scott were put to rest there. And I think he understands this also. It's just his idiot fans that think that he wants this. He does not want this. He wants to play next to Siakam. Siakam takes a lot of pressure off of him, and G is exactly right. You know, it's not that Scotty's game's going to get better when these guys leave. In fact, it may get worse. He may have his shooting percentage go down. He may be less effective because he's got way more double teams coming at him, and he is not ready for that yet. I'm sorry, y'all. He is not totally ready to be the number one guy on our team that gets all the attention. That is a very hard job on teams to be that guy and still be successful and score. Scott's not ready for that. Y'all are rushing him. You need to let him develop in the right timeline in the way that's best for him in his career so that he can be successful and get to it in a healthy way. You can ruin a player with the kind of stuff y'all are talking about. You very much can. You can ruin him in a couple different ways. So Mike's saying the first and second options usually make the same, a max contract, and that's not an issue. Yeah. I have no problem with paying Siakam the max next to Scotty's max. That kind of makes a lot of sense. In some ways, OG's trade value, if he's going to be a max player, well, we can get a lot for him coming back. In some ways, that's more attractive to me than moving Siakam. So that's the thing. If OG's going to be a max player, well, then he may have to go to another team. That's what I'm saying. There can only be two max players. And if it's Siakam and Scotty, I'm perfectly fine with it. Perfectly fine with it. Some people want it to be OG and Scotty. It has to be OG and Scotty. It has to be. Well, we'll see how they juggle it and figure it out. maybe OG will be not a max player and he'll be just the third guy with the third highest salary, but not at a max level. We'll have to see. Fun guy saying, I don't stand with those haters, but I do think 100% Siakam's either gone or extended soon. I want a king's ransom if we trade him. Yeah, I love, like, you guys have brought up the Gobert package, what they got for him. Something like that would work really well in this situation as far as that. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that, well, that's either one of the two things that are going to happen. Either he's going to get extended, but I don't think he'll get traded. And if he does get traded, it may not be right now. It could very well be like a trade deadline trade. If he's not extended by then, it could very well be that Bobby and Masai ain't going to mess around like with Fred and say, yeah, we're going to trade you at the trade deadline because we did not get the extension done by then. So maybe in Siakam's favor to go ahead and get the extension done this fall as soon as he can. And then all the trade rumors and bullshit will go away from swirling around him, less distractions. And if you wait till the trade deadline and we don't have an extension for you, Siakam, by then, well, I'm like saying, all right, Bobby and Masai, trade him then. Because in some ways, that would be the smartest thing to do at that point. So Siakam, you and your people need to get with them and get this extension done way before February. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. Let's see. Trevor J saying those are the teams who want to give us subway tokens. See, that's why this is Scotty is the guy for Subway. So they want to give the Subway tokens to him. I guess I don't know. That's not the currency we want for our players, for sure. For sure. Y'all give me a cutoff today. All right, guys, please. Let's see. Jump way ahead. Let's see. Wow, there is quite a bit here. So I definitely want a cutoff, guys. Thank you. G saying people calling Trae Young a first option when he has worse stats than Pascal, Gobert, and Cat are both supermax players in the same team. Teams have multiple supermax and max players. Yeah. And I don't even know if the Timberwolves, what are they going to do with Anthony Edwards when he gets up there? They're going to have to move one of those big guys, right? Right? Mike's agreeing with you. Yeah, if Trae Young is a number one option, for damn sure Pascal Siakam is. Monique saying happy Global Jam Day. That's right. Global Jam starting today. There were some tickets available in one of my friend groups, and I was like, man, maybe I should go. I think it's like Canada versus Africa games today or something like that. But yeah, Global Jam. If you're in Toronto and you want to see some good international basketball, go to the Global Jam. The event starts today, and it runs all weekend till Sunday, I believe. So good stuff. Leslie's saying at Tom Duke, this new flopping rule will be difficult for Embiid and LeBron. So happy that we will see less flopping this season. Yeah, I'm excited about that too. It's ugly. It looks stupid. What are you trying to be like soccer? What is this? Just stop. James, why did you teach Joel how to flop? Why did you do that? Yeah, this will be better for the game in a lot of ways. Tom Duke's got the floppy joes out. No more floppy joes. And it better have 100% Canadian maple syrup on it. That's right. So true. All right, Ruliz, let's see what else he's saying. All right, you're going to dig your grave, I'm sure. He's happy settling for max, but wants super max. Let's be real. Siakam's loyalty appears to come at a high price tag. Indirectly, y'all want to ruin our young, high ceiling core for 4 or 5 years. Now, see, this is the thinking that is stupid right there. What do you mean ruin our high ceiling core? Seriously, you're trying to decimate our high ceiling core by getting rid of one of the most important people. Dude, I'm not even going to give you the third strike. I can already tell where you're at. So I'm going to go ahead and fucking kick you out once again. And I don't even understand why we brought you back in, because you're not a Raptor freak. You're just a fuck. So get the fuck out, man. I'm sorry. I don't have time for this. And I seen you filled it up down lower. If your comments are all going to be like this and coming at Siakam, just get the fuck out. We're a Siakam for Siakam, staying on our team channel right here. And if you want to go talk that kind of talk, go talk to another channel or something like that. They'll enjoy it with you better. But that's not what we're doing here. We're not trying to push Siakam out. We love Siakam. We want him on this team. And you can think he's about money? What the fuck, man? Just get the fuck out of here. You're so cynical with your bullshit. So fuck you, Rules. And whoever told me to bring him back in, please don't ask me to do that. Bring him back in again. He does not fit with our channel. He can fuck right off right now. Yeah, there you go. Tom Duke gave him the butthole face on his way out. Good job, Tom. That's exactly the treatment he deserves. All right, Logical saying, no guarantees in sports. People think things are black and white when reality isn't anywhere near that simple. That's right. That's right. That's why when you know what you've got to hold on to it, because there's no guarantees. You think that you could do this kind of thing that you're talking about, Ruliz? Yeah, but it's fraught with all kinds of a huge amount of failure percentage. You do what you're talking about. Well, it may be the Raptors never ever get above 30 wins again for like 10 years. You fucking idiot. So yeah, we're not gonna listen to you. You don't fucking know what you're talking about. I was around in the 90s and saw the garbage the Raptors were as an expansion team. You want us to go back to that era? We might as well change our colors back to purple again. Some of y'all idiots want that. You want us to change back to purple jerseys right now? No, we don't want to do that. That's the past. That's when we were losing. We wear red now, and we win when we wear red. So yeah, people want to bring purple back and losing and tanking. You want to go watch expansion Raptors from the 90s. You can go watch old clips on NBA Hardwood Classics. You can fucking get your fucking purple loser dinosaur Raptors then. You don't need to have it now. It ain't got nothing to do with us now. We're a winning team. We continue to win. We're not about destroying our team just for some fucking casual, young ass, dumbass motherfuckers. And that's what I got to say about that. I'm serious about this. You want to keep a consistency in a certain level. And Mike is exactly right. There's no guarantees if your plan it will work. Go ask Philadelphia. Go ask Oklahoma City. These motherfuckers don't know what they're doing. You think that these teams are smart? No, they're not. They're mismanaged idiots. And you want us to be more like them? No, I do not want to be like them. G saying Supermax was put into place to keep players loyal to small market teams. Players need to be on the same team they were drafted on or traded to on draft night and achieve all defense or all NBA multiple times. There you go. So he's earned it. It's like he would be a regular max, but gets another all NBA. Boom. Then he's a super max and he deserves it. And he gets that money. So I don't understand what's wrong with that. He earned it. If he got the accolades and he did what he did. Cowboys saying, is Dennis the Menace in T-Dot yet? He's not in Toronto. He's in Vegas. I think that it was easier for them to fly into Vegas than to Toronto. And they weren't in Toronto anyway. Everybody's in Vegas. So he went to Vegas. He's in Vegas. But we'll see if he can come to Toronto back with them when they all come back from Toronto at the end of this week. So we'll have to see then. Maybe he's going back to Germany again for a little while before he comes back to Toronto again. G saying multiple times, it's about keeping the players field fair across the league. So yes, players who achieve this deserve it. This is the other thing. It's like when we get the guy in our team, we drafted him. We've had him for 8 years or something like that. We made him a most improved player. He was a G League champion. He was an NBA champion. He's he's an all NBA. He's an all-star. He's a homegrown product, and they don't want teams like us to lose homegrown products. So what G is saying is that the NBA very much made the system conducive. And in some ways, because we made this player into this, we need to pay that extra money because we can actually get into levels of our salary cap in a way with him that is smart in the investment, and it increases value and quality in our lineup. So everybody who's like, this is the truth of it. Is right there. I'm gonna read one more. He's already kicked out, but I'm gonna read one more comment by him. And that's it. I'm going to read one more. I'm going to see if it is the third strike. Let's see. At G, Supermax existed before the new CBA rules. Now it's actually a hand grenade when you have a potential big three. All right. You know what? You just fucked up and said a potential big three. You know what, man? Big three's over. The NBA changed the CBA to stop the big three. Stop thinking with the mindset of making a super team with the big three. In fact, if you wanted to do that, you would want to keep Pascal and hope that Scotty, OG, and Pascal could become a big three. They actually kind of could. That's the dumbass thinking that you have. You want a big three? Well, we could have a big three with OG, Scotty, and Pascal. You are so fucking stupid. Who the fuck told me to let this fucking idiot back in? Seriously, get the fuck out and never come back. Seriously. Nobody asked me to let this motherfucker back in again. Seriously. Monique saying he's in Vegas, Bradley. Yep. He's there. We know it's on YouTube. Mike is saying most max contract players actually generate more revenue than they could ever get. That's why they made the max contract. Salaries were getting crazy with certain players. Listen, SIAKAM may have made enough money for McDonald's last year with his McFlurry to pay him the max contract. That's how much money this man's making. I know I fucking ate a SIAKAM McFlurry almost every day when they were available in the greater Toronto area. So I'm just saying, this man's generating money. He's just getting his piece of the pie. I have no problem with paying him a super max. Is that what your fucking problem is, Rule is? You don't think he's worth a supermax? He's like, I'd like to just pay him a max. Who the fuck are you? Ted Rogers a third? You fucking fuck. Pay Siakam what he's worth. Give him the damn money he's worth. He's earned it. He's earned it. You have a problem with him taking a supermax over a max? We can pay him supermax. It doesn't penalize us. We get to a new part of our cap. Are you worried he's going to take money away from somebody else? Or what the fuck? Are you paying the fucking salary? What the fuck, man? Seriously. What is wrong with people? Don't hate on him getting as much money as he possibly can. And if we can pay him the most money, that's great because the NBA has a good system that keeps stars on teams. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Cool Cat saying, good morning, Raptor Free Crew. Some Raptors fans want their rebuild option. Fred gone, and now they're pushing out Pascal. No extension offered. OG extension. Oh boy, we are in challenging times. Yeah, I don't even know what the extension stuff is. Once again, we don't know what the Raptors are doing behind the scenes. They're tight-lipped, and I don't know who's going to get extensions or when or where or what schedule or stuff like that. In some ways, they need to game this to cause some of the noise to go away. Masai and Bobby, if you have intentions to do certain things with Siakam and OG, just go ahead and do them. Just go ahead and do them because it'll quiet down a lot of the stupid-ass noise that these idiots are drumming up, like Michael Grange and Rue Liz. So, all right, let's keep going. So how are the Wolves doing it? They are birds' rights that exist too. There are ways to handle this. Why is the answer trade an all NBA player and not role players to help with this? Yeah, I'm totally with this, G. Cowboys saying, nice. Thanks, Mo. I think Dennis is in the building. Let's go. That's awesome. Tom's taking his messages back because he's trying to help me with my time. Mike is saying the lockout was due to the players not wanting maxes in place, but the owners went hard for it. Okay. Isaac saying MVP Pascal is top 10 this year and not top 20. This is his team, and he will be an all-NBA all-star. Trade yourself. There you go, Isaac. You tell him. Trade him right on out of here. And Leslie is laughing. Tom Duke's got the popcorn. G saying, well, the Wolves are not done yet. Sixers have 2 max, Suns 3, and does not include their rookie contracts coming up. So every team, including Charlotte, can have super max player, but we can't manage one. Yeah, it's bullshit. I'm telling you, anybody who's anti-Siakam getting a supermax with us is anti-Raptors. I'm serious. Fiercely saying OG and Schroder meet up in Vegas. That was funny and cool. I agree with that. I thought it was really cool. Those guys are birds of a feather. Seriously. Born in Germany, born in the UK, both in the NBA, playing in the NBA. Yeah, they probably have way more in common than they have against each other. Seriously, they probably have a lot in common, honestly. Randolph saying, Lex, Otto is working real hard and is looking good behind the three-point line. Ooh, I love this intel from Randolph Phillips. Dennis arrived in Vegas and was already in the hotel gym. I don't like Grange speaking about the Raptors. All speculations. Yeah, it really is. Grange is not helpful. He needs to fuck off. He really does. I told him that to his Twitter. I said, you just fuck right off right now, Michael Grange, with your bullshit. I really like hearing that Otto's working hard, and you've seen footage of him putting up good threes and stuff. We could really get a boost from him next season. I really, really want to see that happen with Otto Porter Jr. back in a Raptors uniform this year, contributing and healthy and playing most of the season. That would be fantastic. Fantastic. Mike saying, not gonna lie, I don't think Siakam is eligible for the Supermax, which is 35% plus an extra $6 million added on top each year. He's not yet. He had to get the All-NBA this year, and he didn't get it. So he has to go again. I hate this. Maybe the timing of this is messed up now because he didn't get All-NBA. If he had just gotten it, we'd just give it to him, and then we'd go for it. But now he's probably thinking, okay, I want to try and still get the Supermax. So he's going to try and get All-NBA this year and try and make it happen this year. But there's no guarantees on this, Siakam. So I don't know how they need to navigate this. These guys will probably figure it out. They'll figure it out, and they're talking to him, so they'll get it all figured out. Let's see. Cowboys saying, let's go. Toronto, love the city and the culture. Thank you, Cowboy. Yes, the great city of Toronto. G saying, everyone has a fantastic young core. Winners have experience and chemistry, or Pistons would be the best in the league with all their lottery picks. This is exactly right. You know, lottery teams and lottery picks don't mean winning. Veterans and experience mean winning. You want to win championships, you got to have some experience and be kind of like vet on your team. All these young teams ain't going to do jack shit. They ain't going to win nothing. They ain't going to do nothing. David Saborn saying the last thing we need is more fucking police. There you go. David's right. David's right. Nako's saying, fun fact, I have to drive to Windsor today. Okay. All right, Gerald, drive safely and, be careful on some of those breezeways around Hamilton. That wind gets real whipping over those bridges. So, woo, don't, be careful if there's high winds. David's saying, sorry to hear that, Nako. Well, if you're going to Windsor, you might as well jump the border and go like boo the Pistons a little bit in Detroit for a second while you're over there. Let's see. Fanboy Killer's here. Good to see your new name. 9:30 every morning. We're talking Raptors here on this channel. If you want to get a comment read, as long as you're not being like Rue Liz, you'll stick around. I don't care if players come from Canada or Mars, as long as they help us win. I'm new to this channel, but you have to take your emotional attachment to players out of it. SIAKAM plays soft a lot. Okay. Yeah, you're not one of us. I can already tell. Emotional attachment is part of being a fan. And it's not even about that. Listen, Chris Boucher is a two-time NBA champion. He's got 2 rings. He's got a lot of good experience. Once again, we cultivated him to being something more than he is in his career. And he likes being here. I do very much value Canadian players being on our team. And it's just smart business because an American will be more likely to want to go back to America. If we have Canadian players, they stay more loyal to us. So it makes more sense to have Canadian players on our team. We can get Trey Lyles. We could get Corey Joseph. We get Shea. We could get Jamal Murray. That would be fantastic because more Canadians on our team means probably more likely loyalty. In fact, Chris showed loyalty to our country. I mean, I get what you're saying. You just want the best talent. And I can get behind that kind of idea. But when the best talent is also Canadian, that's fantastic. So yeah, I don't like that take like that. And yeah, you can say we're emotionally connected. Well, we root for these teams and we like these guys. We want these guys on our team. And it's not even about that. It's about smart management. And keeping guys that want to be here is smart management. And SIAKAM and Boucher both want to be here. So why the fuck would we want to get rid of them and get them out of here? It's so ridiculous and stupid. And then, you say SIAKAM plays soft. Well, you go out there and fucking do what he does, fanboy killer. Seriously, you go out there and do what he does. I don't think you might be maybe more softer than he is. What are you doing in your life that's so hard? Seriously, tell me about your occupation. And maybe I don't know. We'll see if you struck out before this. You might have struck out already. But yeah, tell me your occupation. Tell me what makes you so hard in your life compared to SIAKAM. You think he's soft. You fucking idiot. All right, let's see. Fanboy's also saying we can't give players a pass just because they have ties to Canada or helped us way back in 2019. We're going into the 2024 season, sir, and Kawhi is not here. Well, I know that. But listen, ties between championships is smart to have. You want to have a veteran on your team that's done it before so that they can help. Why would the Golden State Warriors be so successful for the last 15 years? They kept all their guys together. And why do we not value keeping our guys together in that kind of way? Yeah, there's some problems here and stuff like that. I'm going to give you 2 strikes. You've got 1 more and you're going to be gone. Leslie's saying, I love our country. We're so lucky, guys. And I'm proud to be from Canada, from Toronto. I'm apologizing for being from here. Canada, let's educate instead of discriminate. I love it, Leslie. That's a good positive message. Monique saying, as I said above, Dennis, he's definitely giving us his own vision of open gym. Well, it's his own channel. He's always done it this way. He's been doing it for a couple of years like this, and he just keeps on doing it. He's really good at it, actually. I really like his channel. I really do. Mike's saying trading SIAKAM kills playoffs this year based from what we saw last year, in my opinion. The young core is not ready to carry things yet. Impatient till you get what you want. Then it becomes they suck. Imagination. Yeah, that's part of the problem is they don't understand how bad we're going to get if we lose SIAKAM also. These idiots, they really don't. And then when we're bad, we can blame the idiot fans that call for all this. Yeah, it'll be y'all's fault, you fucking dumbasses. Oh my gosh. Elijah's here. Good to see Elijah. They already had an anti-flopping rule and it didn't work. It died out. Damon is right. Demon is right. I watched OG get no calls. Oh, you're talking about De'Aaron. De'Aaron is right. I watched OG get no calls because he plays strong while other guys get every call. To me, it's just part of the game. Yeah, this is why Shaq had to go, whoa, because he didn't flinch. People get hit his arm and it wouldn't hurt him. It wouldn't cause him to have any problems. And that's why he had to go like this, is they would actually call the foul because he's so strong. He would just play through the contact. And that's exactly what happens with OG. Elijah's exactly right. And that's part of the reason why OG doesn't go to the line very much, because he just absorbs it and he doesn't overact like a lot of people. So I don't know. I get what you're saying. That's why I see the point of what De'Aaron Fox is making. And that I think that there's going to be a really weird balance on this. And we'll have to see. Like I said, if they got to be consistent with it. They got to be consistent. Wayne saying Fox has a blunt point. However, Joel Embiid's actions were laughable to anyone who watched the game. This giant of a man continually falling to the ground by guys half his size. Excellent rule change. Yeah, and we'll specifically see it used around him. I'm sure. There's going to be certain guys that probably will get picked on for this to modify their behavior from what they saw last season. Yeah, that'll be definitely for sure. G saying retooling is a better concept. Last comment on this. Careful what you wish for. They trade for a shot creating point guard or a dog like Mathurin. Scotty may not be getting the ball like you think. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand these people that just want to cater to Scott. You don't understand who Scott is. You think that you need to take people away from him for him to get better. That's not what Scotty's game is. He's a complementary player in some ways. In some ways, he's not going to be a number one option for us. It's not kind of in his cards in a way. He very much is such a giving guy. He loves giving assists. In some ways, we need Siakam around so that he has a really good target to get good scoring and assists off of. That Scott is kind of a glue guy that does the filling in of whatever is needed. And he's not what y'all think he is. You think he's going to come out and all of a sudden be like LeBron James, but that's not who he is. He's more likely to be like a Magic Johnson than a LeBron James. And y'all won't even understand the difference in what I just said, because y'all don't even know what Magic used to do. Most of you guys that are, that's what I'm saying. The people that don't understand Scott, they don't understand he's a complimentary assist kind of glue guy in the middle, and he shouldn't actually be the number one option, y'all. He shouldn't. If you're a good team, he'd be more like just a guy who's just so much good, but he's never the focal point. And that's the thing. These people want him to be the focal point. Well, that may destroy our team, and y'all don't even realize that, you fucking idiots. Oh my God, there's some really stupid people in this chat today, and it's not my regulars. I'm gonna just say that right now. All right, let's see. Fanboy, you're in trouble. You might get another one right now. The production in the fourth quarter from Siakam is not good. In 423 fourth quarters, he's averaging 3.9 points, 1.7 rebounds, and 0.8 assists. When it's time to take over in money time, Siakam goes into hiding. I'm not going to say you're exactly wrong, but can I tell you why this is? Is because Nick ran him to the ground in the 3 quarters before the end of the game. He never rested him. So what do you expect? The man to be run down and not at his top because Nick Nurse ran him to the ground last season, playing him so many damn minutes? That is who's at fault for this. Siakam could be very effective at the end of the game if he's not playing almost 40 minutes. They need to limit his minutes. And in fact, they need to give him a rest from the 8-minute mark to the 4-minute mark of the fourth quarter and bring him in for the last 4 minutes of the game and tell me how good he is in the clutch then. It's really the poor coaching of Nick Nurse that this phenomenon has happened. The same thing for Fred. Fred's the same thing. Both of them would have been way more clutch and more successful at the end of the game if Nick had not been absolutely running them into the ground, exhausted for most of the game. The second half, they would play almost the whole entire third quarter, and I would be so pissed off. I'm like, why are you fucking playing the starters the whole fucking third quarter, Nick? They're going to be wasted and no good in the fourth quarter. So that's a big part of the reason of that phenomenon, fanboy. I won't say that you're not right. The Siakam has been a failure in the fourth quarter, but I blame Nick Nurse because he ran him too much earlier in the game. And of course, he's not going to be as solid later when he's so tired. So let's see, Nick's gone. Let's see if all of a sudden Siakam all of a sudden is a magical clutch player who wins games for us all the time, because Darko is better at managing his minutes throughout the game and keeping him fresh by the end of the game. Nick did not do that, and I blame Nick Nurse for the phenomenon you're saying. I'm not giving you a strike for that one because that was a fair, accurate take, and it was a little bit negative, but I'm not going to give you a strike. I'm not going to give you one for that one. Name was saying the Raptor Freak cult supports Mayor Alexi Oz. I don't want to be mayor or nothing. I just run a channel and I enjoy talking to you guys. That's all it is. I don't want to be no mayor. I don't want to be Olivia Chow. Let's see. Monique saying, I would love to hear what Siakam's brothers think of all this, but we will never will. And speaking in their language, think about it. I mean, I know that they probably don't listen to it. It's probably dumb. They're just like Siakam. They're probably like, this is all bullshit and noise. And they probably don't have any time for it. I hope Christian's very busy getting ready with Eric Curry with 905 stuff. Stuff like that's more important than them listening to the buzz or the stupid shit in Fan Nation, that kind of stuff. Who knows? Maybe he has a sister that looks at it all. I don't know. Maybe he has a brother who does. But in some ways, I don't think that they are. I think they probably handle it very much similar to how he handles it. Infamous is saying that flopping rule is good in principle, but it's a very subjective thing. I've watched a few games with the rule, and it's going to cause a lot of issues in the regular season. Yeah, this is another way the refs can manipulate games on the down low in really like fucked up ways. So we're going to really have to stay on top of it and watch it. This is my specialty in this channel, is watching the referees. I'm very, very good at detecting when the refs do shady shit. In fact, we have a segment on this show called the Ref Manipulation Report after games, where I will point out every single little fucked up thing the referees did in the game that kind of did change how things went in the game. Whether it's something like as blatant as Scott Foster throwing Scotty Barnes out of the game at the end of that Denver game, or it's just simple little things like a referee will walk into the lane when one of our players is shooting a free throw while they're still in the act of shooting it. There's a lot of little subtle things the refs do that can really shape games. And we'll have to see how this new anti-flopping rule can be possibly used in that kind of way. Hopefully, and the subjectiveness about it is probably going to be a big part of it for sure. Infamous, for sure. G saying Trae Young, hang on. No. If you're responding to the guys, you can go ahead and retract your messages. I'm just going to skip the whole interaction with them. Trae Young has averaged 6.1, 1.7 assists, and 0.9 rebounds in 338 games in the fourth quarter in his career. Damian Lillard has averaged 6.4 points, 1.1 assists, and 1 rebound in 569 games. The numbers are higher. In some ways, they're better. I mean, the scoring is at least better. So, Mike is saying on the Cavs and Knicks, Siakam is a first option, in my opinion. Yeah, I would agree with that. That would be tough on the Cavs, like with Donovan Mitchell. Some people would say, what? You would rather have Siakam be the first option? Well, in some ways, he's a better person to carry, seriously, than Mitchell. Mitchell can be ineffective. Like, he can be very inefficient at times. And Siakam's more money. Like, he's more money in a lot of ways. G saying Kyrie has averaged 6.5 points and 1.1 assists and 1 rebound in 443 games in the fourth quarter in his career. Yeah, I mean, those are high percentages. Siakam's like 4 points. Siakam doesn't get the ball as much late in the game either. It's weird. Like, Fred really did kind of dominate holding the ball in the end of the game situations this year. And a lot of times Siakam would kind of be an afterthought, maybe more of a decoy and getting spacing and not really going to him because they expect them to go to him. In some ways, Scotty would step up in the fourth quarter. We saw Scotty do a lot more in the fourth quarter in some games than anywhere other part of the game. And that was his time to start getting the ball instead of Siakam. So there's a couple different contributors to why Siakam's fourth quarter stats may not be as illustrious. It seemed like they were going to Scott at that time at the end of games more often sometimes. And definitely Freddie. All right, fanboy, let's see what you got. Tom's got the cutoff. Patty Mills was just traded 3 times in 10 days. That's life in the NBA. I'll tell you what, I'd rather move around as a millionaire than stay put in one place forever, working a 9 to 5. Well, that's you specifically. Chris Boucher ain't got no time for that. Seriously, he could have got paid way more on this last contract, but he just said, I just want to stay with Toronto, take what they take, and he stayed here. We're all different people, and we all have different things that we care about. And, sure, a lot of NBA players do really just care about the money the most. But don't be surprised when other guys make decisions that aren't totally made totally on money. You can be very cynical and you can think certain ways, but we're positive people here and we're optimistic. And that may be the biggest difference in style between people like Ruliz and yourself and us, is that we're sunny side. We're like glasses half full, and we believe in the good in people. And y'all may believe in the bad in people and just be very cynical and have ugly lives where you think everybody's around just to fuck each other over. And that may be a big difference right here. in that. Let's see. G saying, so Pascal has similar fourth quarter stats to KD. KD averages 1.5 points more in the fourth. Cool. Good to know. Good to know. Yeah. I once again, I'll blame Nick for running him down, and his stats would be way better in the fourth quarter if Nick hadn't overused him like all the time, all the time. It's not like once or twice. He on the regular, and that even accrues over the season. You get deeper in the season, he's been run down for the whole year. This is what Iceman like Gervin was all about in Raptors tonight. Coming in there, minutes police, and talking about how much Nick Nurse overplayed Siakam so that he could not be clutch. Yeah, we know what happened there. It's not that Siakam's not capable. It's that his coach fucked him up by overplaying him too much. Tom Duke saying, big bag of zip it. Have a good one. There you go. Yeah. All right, one more. Let's see if this is okay. Siakam is 29 in prime. KD is 34 and not who he used to be. Okay. Test. You want to test Wayne Strainer, Andrew Martin? G saying, these were KD's career stats. Don't backtrack now and make excuses. You also used games where Pascal was a bench player in your stats, by the way. Yeah, that's a big part of this whole thing about talking about Siakam's averages. We've got to remember he was not a starter in the beginning of his career. He had limited minutes. And if you're looking at his career averages versus other people's career averages, you have to take into account that he's a most improved player. And then he made a huge leap in his game a couple years into his career. That is something conveniently not brought about in the whole talk about career stat averages with Siakam. Yeah, there you go. Josh Monroe's saying, do you think Gradey will eventually have a better scoring game, or will we have to wait to see him with the main club to see what we have with him? I hope he can do it today. That'd be great if we just see Gradey have a really badass game today or tomorrow. So who knows? I'm holding out that he'll have a really incredible showing either tonight or tomorrow. But it may be we have to wait until he's with the regular guys and not with these scrubs that he's playing with right now. Fun guy saying, damn, I can't see Ruliz comments. Did he get blocked? That sucks. I love banter and reading. Yeah, he got blocked. I shouldn't have let him back in. I don't know who asked me to let him back in. Fuck that. That motherfucker, he has no place in here. Seriously. Fanboy's going to say, all right, he's a KD stan, obviously. It's whatever, man. You can pump up KD all you want. We're pumping up the Raptors here. You want to pump up other players and other teams, the NBA in general, go fucking watch anything else in media. This is for Raptors fans in a place where we pump up our team because nobody fucking else does. Whether it's the Canadian media, the US media, whoever, we're fucking pumping up the team here. And you either get with the program or you get the fuck out, is what I'm going to say right here. So let's see. You know what? Fuck this. You're comparing Kevin Durant to Pascal Siakam. Yeah, whatever, man. Dude, just get out of here, bro. You're out too, bro. This guy's gone too. Fanboy killer. You just been killed. You kill it out of here, motherfucker. We ain't got time for this. I got things to do today. I don't have time to talk to jabronis and their dumbass takes. Isaac is saying Ruliz was just handed the big 3 times. That's right. Get the fuck out, motherfucker. G saying, sorry, last one on this. KD at 29. Averaged 4.5, 1.1 rebounds, and 0.8 assists in 65 games in the fourth quarter. 5 points more at the same age, less rebounds, same assists. Yeah. I love how you're getting these stats so quickly, G. Holy crap. You're like a gunslinger with the stats. He's like, I'll throw these fourth quarter stats at y'all real quick. Raps Love is saying, give Siakam the max, even if he doesn't get all NBA. I'm with you on that. Well, he won't be able to get the super max unless he does. So either way, give him the max or the super max. I don't care. It may be that he's holding out because he wants to get that all NBA so he can get the super max. I don't know. Like I said, if he doesn't have his extension done by the trade deadline, I'm okay with Bobby Masai trading him then. But there's nothing to do with trading him right now. It doesn't serve us in any kind of way. We need to play the season with him. And if things aren't going well and things are a certain way, well, at the trade deadline, we don't have an extension done with him. I would be okay with trading him, but it's got to be a deal that really makes sense, like the Gobert or the Mitchell trade, like Utah did. I want to buy the farm. If he's going somewhere, we're getting a lot of shit for him because he's at least as good as Rudy Gobert, if not better. So we better fucking get a package just like what Utah got for Rudy Gobert, is what I'm saying. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Hang on. Logical saying owners needed better ways to keep stars happy. League realized it wasn't about money. It was building a winning team. That's competitive enough. That was the issue with stars wanting to go to free agency places. Yeah. Yeah. That's a big part of it right there. Listen, the other thing is like what Fanboy Killer was saying. He's like, oh, we want players to move around and get around the league. That's not good for the league. And that shows that you're kind of one of these more recent fans is fucked up. In the 80s and 90s, teams staying together was good for the health of the league. It was good for overall league. Team players moving around so much is not good for the league. And part of what the CBA is trying to do is to limit that in ways that it makes more sense for movement in the league instead of just frivolous. We're going to move, shuffle up all the top players in the league and put them on different teams all of the time. That's not good for continuity and the foundations of the league and getting identities with the teams. If you have teams that are have and have not, small market and big market, the big markets will always win in that model. And this is why the CBA has changed. This is why the Raptors have a better chance. This is why parity is coming to the league, because they want the Raptors to stay healthy by being able to keep players and stay a good team just as much as Sacramento or Milwaukee or Charlotte. So yeah, this is where we're at. And there's a whole different mindsets on what's good for the NBA and what isn't. And well, the NBA is doing what's good for the NBA, and I'm with them on that. And some of these other idiot fans who like a lot of movement and shuffling it all up and dealing them different ways, you're going to be disappointed because it's not going to be as dramatic and changing the landscape of the NBA as it has been in the past. There's a lot more incentives to keep your players, and there's a lot more incentives for these players to stay with their teams. So yeah, everybody who likes shuffling up and dealing the different players all over the different places, yeah, it's not going to be happening as much anymore. Trust me. The CBA has changed this. The new CBA. And Fun Guy saying, are we comparing Siakam to KD? That's what I'm saying. Why? Well, that's great. I mean, if he's on that level where he can kind of be compared to KD, well, that says something about Siakam right there. I would say Trevor J saying that guy is crazy. Bye-bye, butthole face. I'm glad you're kicking him out. He's like, cancel him. Yeah, cancel these guys. I'll give him one more. Let me just see what else he was saying. I guess I'm going to be kicked out also, but I love the Raptors, but nobody on our team, especially right now, is bigger than the team. I'm with you on that. I will root for the team first, but I also realize the team has to be made up of players, and I don't turn toxic on them. I love these guys and I want them. You can say that's emotional attachment, but that's the way you should be if you're a fan. You want your team to stay together and be a family. And that's what Masai's been doing. That's why he has these kind of bonds with guys like OG and Pascal. And we need to respect that more as fans and stop being so disrespectful. They're our family in some ways. And you guys are so disrespectful to our family. The way people treated Fred last year was disgusting and despicable. And, in some ways it did lead to him leaving in some ways. It was easier for him to leave in some ways. I appreciate that you're a real fan, but I don't totally believe you because you don't want good things for our team. So, all right, let's keep going. All right, let's see. G saying, I still used his career stats and there are less than two. All right, I'm not going to read any more G on that. Smooth saying, without Pascal, this team is 35 and 47. I agree with that. That's probably true. All right, and he's saying one more thing, sir. Difference of opinion is good to have. We all want the same thing to win. Have a great day, Raptors fans. All right, peace out, fanboy. You're just not one of our crew, bro. I'm sorry. We want positive, diehard fans that are for the team. You can be for the team, but in some ways, you're not a positive fan. You're a negative fan. You're disrespecting our guy Siakam. Yeah, don't do that. Don't disrespect him. There's enough people doing that right now that there's no reason for you to add to that noise if you truly are a Raptors fan. In fact, we'd ask you to defend him and come to our side and help us in the fight against the people that are coming at him. So there you go. All right, let's see. Kenrick saying Pascal plays 38 plus minutes with the bench falling behind. So the starters were always playing catch up. Yeah. I mean, I get it. But you know what? I just don't think that the bench was cultivated correctly by Nick so that they could be capable to give spells of rest for Fred and Pascal. And that was part of the problem. You needed to give them a chance. And I still blame Nick for not getting quality out of those guys. It's not that those guys weren't good enough. It's just he didn't know how to use them in the correct way to just dispel a little bit of time. It's like you can play Delano for a certain amount of time, and that may give Siakam an extra 3 minutes of rest all of a sudden. You can get away with stuff like that, but he wasn't even trying to sneak in those kind of brief little parts in the rotation. That's just to give them just a couple of minutes. Oh my gosh, he wouldn't even do that. He just overplay them. Mike's saying the coverage changes on Siakam in the fourth as well. So those stats are deceiving, especially with no one hitting the shots on his kickouts. Yeah, There you go. That's another good point. The Smooth saying, I remember how relevant the Raptors were in the early 2000s. Please, Toronto, don't trade SIAKAM. Yeah, we know these different periods of very bad, grim times, and a lot of the more recent Raptor fans do not. And that's part of the reason why we know more than these idiots. If you were around in the 90s, you know about the expansion Raptors. If you were around after Vince left, you know about that period of time from 2005 to about 2010 or 11 that really sucked in Raptors Nation, the Chris Bosh years, before Kyle and DeMar came and started bringing us back to relevancy. No Raptor fans that have come around in the last 10 years really truly understand what not being successful means for being on the Raptors. We are still successful. Even last year with a 500 record, I consider that a successful year because we had such adversity. We still managed to win half our games. And some people will say, well, that was a horrible year last year. In some ways, I think last year was super successful considering everything we were dealing with. And that's the difference. We could have a year like last year and it's like 20 wins because the talent's much worse because people have run this talent out of the city. And I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of this. Don't trade Pascal. I'm with you. Nameless saying, Rules, you breached our agreement. Se muerto por noi. All right. So I think it was Nameless that said, bring him back. Bring him back. And he's saying, no, I'm sorry. My familia, Nameless, is saying that, yeah, you breached the agreement. Monique saying, W stream Lex all around. Keep at it always. Block out the negative. The real ones will be here. Thank you, Monique. Super fan Lawrence. Definitely one of the real ones. One of the best role models in Raptors Nation for how to cheer on your team in a positive, healthy way with love and support. And sure, forgive Monique for having an emotional connection to the Raptors, something that she really, 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 really passionately loves and has spent so much time in her life thinking and considering and just looking at stuff about the Raptors, going to games. She is a real one that makes the Raptors her life. So please forgive someone like Monique and myself who really love the Raptors and do have emotional connections to this team. Yeah, you can think that clouds our judgment, but in some ways it makes it the most pure form of fandom when you absolutely love your team like Monique does. And that's what I'll say to that. Mike's saying, last thing, I think Nick tried to play that first minutes in a sense of Rico like 5-minute thing. Really didn't work. It wasn't enough time in general. W stream. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, I didn't like how he handled the rotations in the second half in general. He did okay in the first quarter, but often the first quarter was all messed up and he had to bring the bench in anyway because the starters were so flat. But in the second half, the third quarter quite often was way too much of the starters. In fact, I'm a strong believer from my time in coaching that you actually put your bench in earlier than ever than in the first quarter in the second half. That these guys have already played the first half and you want to get them ready for the fourth quarter and be okay. Well, you sub in guys 3 minutes into the second half instead of waiting like 7 or 8 minutes most of the third quarter. No, you don't do that. And that's where he always fucked up because as soon as he didn't get those guys enough rest in the third quarter, they were gassed for the rest of the night and they were absolute dog shit after that. If you noticed and paid attention to Fred and Pascal last year, when they played from the start after halftime of the third quarter till like 10 minutes in, they were fucking done for the rest of the game after that and no good. And that was Nick's fault. I'm telling y'all, that was Nick's fault. Blackhawk saying whenever Nick Nurse had seen the bench doing good, he put an end to it by bringing back the starters. So Nick Nurse made a culture of belittling the bench pieces. Yeah, he was gatekeeping these bench guys from getting anywhere in their careers. And it was really bad. Trevor J saying, I just think those people are Toronto Maple Leafs fans. That's coming in here on bullshit. Trevor, you might be right. And thanks you once again, Trevor. So benevolent and so kind with your super chat today. Holy craps, Trevor J. Now, are you a motivational speaker? I'm following your page on Facebook. In fact, you know what? Because Trevor did this. I want to put him on blast a little bit, guys, because I feel like Trevor is doing something in his life that maybe we need to go look at. He's a platform artist, apparently. Y'all follow him on Facebook, Trevor J. Platform Artist. It looks like he's got a mic on and he's cutting some hair and he's kind of getting up there and telling people some advice or something, Trevor, whatever you got going on, man, let me know. And I want to put you on blast in ways that can help put your whatever you're doing on blast, man. It looks like you're cutting hair on stage. So you cutting hair and giving advice at the same time? That looks really cool. Let's see. Name was saying, Lex, you said you're dead to us perfectly in Italian. Bravo. I think I've had some experience already saying that term. That may have been part of the reason why. Cowboys saying W stream Lex. Bam. Later, Raptor freaks. Have a blessed day and stay safe. Chomp, 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 chomp. Thank you, Bradley. As always, Bradley, tada. They can help you out. If you need some help in the GTA, they can come to your house and help you with odd jobs. Maybe you can't lift something. You need somebody else to help you and you don't have anybody to help you. Tada can help you. You can find them in the internet. Cool Cat saying Scotty is at risk if Pascal is released. Fans will hate the losing. Ticket prices will be too expensive for a rebuild era. It won't be pretty. Larry Tannenbaum selling back to MLSE, rough times. Yeah, you guys want to go into a very dark period of Raptors basketball? Well, it's already kind of gross and bad. Nick's gone, Fred's gone, and it's unsure and shaky already. You want to make it even more unsure and shaky? Well, we lose SIAKAM. That is what will make it even more unsure and shaky. Yeah, y'all are foolish for wanting the things y'all want, some of y'all. Seriously. And I'm with Cool Cat. We do not need to be moving SIAKAM. We need to protect him now more than ever. There was a period of time and near the end of the season where we were talking about who do we value more, Fred or SIAKAM? And there was two sides. Well, now Fred's gone. We very much need to very much value SIAKAM much more than people are giving him respect. Sheer Khan's here. Good morning, Raptor Free crew. The roster for Summer League is not great, but let's hope the three guys, Gradey, Mark, and Moses, shine so we have at least some positives going forward. Yeah. Hopefully tonight we'll see some good stuff. All right, let me just do a quick recap real quick. Actually, we'll do the Instagram real quick. Precious is on Instagram. He's saying, I promise y'all I'm full of joy because he looks a little down in the picture, but he's just thinking. He's just saying, y'all don't think I'm depressed or weird or anything like that. I'm just kind of deep in thought. And it's his thinking face. It's not anything like he's upset. And then he's got a cool picture. He's putting on Casey at the photo. I don't know. Precious is in Vegas. He's doing Vegas things. Ron Harper Jr. and Coloco are at the Call of Duty display and checking out the new Call of Duty, getting a sneak preview of the latest Call of Duty before it comes out to the public. Love seeing our Raptors enjoying themselves in the gaming situations. Ron and Coloco together at that. Joe Weezy's basketball skills camp is coming up next week. So he wants everybody to get signed up. I'm sure it's in Iowa. So, yeah, he's looking forward to after Summer League already because I think he knows what's going to happen. We'll have to see. Thad Young still putting on blast Reform Transportation, best in Dallas. So check out Thad Young and Reform Transportation. If you need your transportation needs, Reform is there. They can come and get you in a limousine and take you to prom. Pascal, like I said, he's in the cold. He's in the cold. He's in the dark. He's working hard. That's our Instagram check. Oh, and Scotty, one more. Scotty is out for a walk with Cardi yesterday. He's a dog daddy, as he put in the comment. He's dog dad. I'm not totally sure. I think Scott's in Florida, though. I'm not sure if Scott is actually in Toronto in the picture. It's tough to figure out. It kind of looks like Florida grass, just from what I know about Florida grass. So I'm going to say he's probably in Florida right now. He's not actually in Canada at the moment. So yeah, there's your Instagram check. Fiercely saying, I know it's cut off, but I just noticed an interview by Taylor Rooks and Gradey. We'll watch after the stream. Yeah, watch that interview. It's pretty good. I touched on it earlier in the stream. Gradey, very interesting stuff about when his mom had cancer, and also the fact that he's going to be living in Canada, in Toronto by himself without his parents. They're going to go back to Kansas, but they are going to be at a lot of games, apparently. Like, they will want to go to a lot of games. They love being at his games, and they probably will try and be at a lot of his games, but he does want that separation from them to actually start to become an adult and be like a grown-up. When he was at Kansas, he lived near his parents. He probably still, I mean, he did stay on in a dorm on campus. He did talk about that yesterday with Taylor, but his parents were in such close proximity. It wasn't really like he went off to college and had that feeling of independence. So he's very much looking forward to the independence of Toronto and being a pro in the league, and his parents kind of being away and letting him be his own man, which I don't worry about because he's a good Christian faith and he's raised right. So I think Gradey will be fine. Randolph saying, Lex, what's the date for our front office to decide on Wheezy? Well, there's no date on it. It's really basically they can just waive him and cut him when they want to. I think that he's going to get that happen to him. I really do. Unless he does something really amazing today and tomorrow, I think he's done. And I think we will be cutting him. All right. Once again, we're playing the Pistons today, 6 p.m. They are a very good team. They have a lot of great young draft picks in the last couple of years. Jaden Ivey, Jalen Duren, Jared Roden, Azur Thompson, Isaiah Livers, James Wiseman, Buddy Boheim. These are some of the names we're going to see line up against us. Maybe they don't play all these guys because they know the Raptors kind of suck and they want to get looks at some of the deeper bench guys. So maybe we will have a chance to win the game because they're not playing their absolute blue chip young players that they have. Like Kate Cunningham's not playing in the summer league. He would really help them too. I'm actually surprised that Kate isn't playing. I know he's of a caliber that shouldn't, but if he's healthy, he might want it just to like get going, or maybe they're worried about him re-injuring himself or something. I don't know. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. Please set up your WNBA fantasy teams. There are a couple games before the All-Star break, and then they go on the All-Star break, and we're going to be waiting until they come back to finish this matchup week in our WNBA fantasy league. So please check on your teams and set your lineups. Thanks once again. Trevor J. Holy crap. Trevor J. Holy crap. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate the super chat. And also, David, thank you also. Y'all have a great Wednesday. The game's at 6 o'clock, and I'll be back tomorrow to react to it. We'll talk all about everything that happens with the game tonight. Check out the Gradey interview with Taylor and also Dennis Schroeder's latest content on his YouTube channel. All good Raptors content to check out. All right, y'all, stay positive and stay true to your team. Stay emotionally attached to your team because that's what being a fan is all about. If you're not emotionally attached to your team, well, then maybe you don't care about them as much as some of us do. Maybe it's so real easy for you to turn your back on the Raptors when they're having a horrible season and go root for the Golden State Warriors instead. Yeah, I see. I know those kind of fans. Well, we ain't that kind of fan. We're sticking with the Raptors even if they ain't winning no games. We're going to be following them still here every single day, 9:30 a.m. Thanks. Please subscribe, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Let's go, Raptors.